The episode 4 trailer revealed a lot of intriguing events, but the real star of today's video is Jax, who seems to be the so-called hidden hero of episode 4. As we already know, the main focus of episode 4 will be Gangle. First, let's take a look at all the scenes featuring Jax in the new trailer, then piece together the backstory behind these events, and finally, I'll share what's likely to happen to Jax after episode 4. The very first scene is a remake of the now iconic moment from the episode 1 announcement. In it, we see that Jax clearly didn't want to work at this McDrive-inspired setting. It seems far too dull and unexciting for him, and as we've seen in previous episodes, Jax thrives on chaos and wild adventures.
Oh, hey, maybe I didn't leave the gate unlocked for nothing after all.
What? I thought he was dead. You still did that? Okay, wait. You did what now?
Well, love to help you again sometime. Bye!
If you take a closer look, it becomes obvious that it was Kane who forced Jax to take on this job. The next scene shows us Gangle, who looks very pleased for a couple of clear reasons. First, she has a happy and, most importantly, sturdy mask, allowing her to stay in a positive mood throughout the entire episode. And second, Gangle finally gets the chance to boss Jax around. That's why she cheerfully and smugly explains his duties. But judging by Jax's expression, he's clearly not happy. Or maybe he just doesn't care about anything she's saying. This is further emphasized by the message on his name badge. As we've seen from previous episodes and their trailers, events in the episodes tend to unfold in the same order as they do in the trailer. The next frame shows Jax visibly irritated by Gangle's instructions. Even in the most extreme situations, Jax is always looking for ways to entertain himself.
Is it really murder if it's delicious? Answer me that.
You make a great point.
No, bad point.
Why don't you leave this to me before I start thinking your hair looks like licorice? As I was saying, I happen to know a way into the kingdom walls, if you'd be willing to help us out in return.
Hey, when did you—
Shut up, licorice hair. Not sure. Let's try this out.
And episode 4 will be no exception. Right in front of Gangle, Jax once again starts acting rudely and disrespectfully toward the other residents. This time, his target is Ragatha, unlike before when Jax openly mocked and humiliated Gangle without a second thought.
What were you hoping for?
You know, like one big final battle, bloodshed, death, chaos. Do you guys have a second truck that flies?
They broke my comedy mask.
So, Kane, we having a new adventure today for the newbie or what?
Jax never hides his emotions, and this scene perfectly showcases that he's not the kind of character who can be easily broken. Even with more power than anyone else, Gangle still can't manage to dominate Jax emotionally. We won't dive into the Zubal's room scene, as it doesn't directly relate to the new adventure. But it's not just Gangle putting Jax in a tough spot. Let's recall that in the announcement for Season 1, Kane mentioned something about salaries. This suggests that all residents of the digital circus might receive some kind of reward, which could be used either within Spudsies or later in the digital circus itself. Now keep this scene in mind and think back to the dynamics between Jax and the other characters.
You, me, and Pomni will go check on Kaufmo, which leaves Crybaby and Hoo-Ha together to go handle the Zubal situation.
Do you think pairing them up together is a good idea?
Of course I do. Try not thinking about it. Or you could toughen up. I want to see what your funny cartoon body does.
Hey, take it easy.
Oh, take it easy. That's you.
It's pretty clear that Jax isn't exactly the best person to hang out with, and in this new adventure, we might witness some form of payback. Remember, Jax is taking orders and likely handing out food to customers arriving in cars, or whatever other transportation they're using. Chances are, we'll see some kind of point system where the number of points earned determines the salary each character gets. Naturally, the points will depend on the quality of the employee's work. Now let's go back to that scene, featuring Jax and Zubal. My gut tells me that these two characters were shown together for a reason. There's already some kind of magical connection between them.
You don't want to mess with the new AI, Zuby?
Yeah, no.
And Zubal turned straight.
My limbs straighten up and f*** off.
What about you?
He refuses to show us because he's a coward.
I want to keep the mystery alive. What do you, the viewers, think it is?
Will you stop doing that?
I'm convinced that all the characters in the digital circus have conspired to make Jax's job as difficult as possible, with Gangle leading the charge. Let me take a quick detour to tell you about another intriguing theory related to the new adventure, which also involves a point system. The premise is similar, but knowing Kane and his brilliant and chaotic ideas, it's possible that the goal of the adventure was to earn as many points as possible to avoid some kind of punishment. Honestly, that would make for an interesting storyline, but for some reason, the salary-based scenario feels more realistic to me. In this scene, we can see Zubal mockingly preparing a burger that the customer has been waiting on for quite some time. And if that customer ends up unhappy, it's Jax who's going to pay the price. Now that we've covered the first part, it's time to dive into the backstory. From previous episodes, we've learned that Jax thrives in chaos. It's what keeps him comfortable.
Hey, Gangle, you should ram into him.
What? You should not ram them. Pomni's still on board.
Do it, it'll be epic.
Why are there so many knives back here?
Do it, or I'll tell Ragatha about the figurine thing.
And when there's no chaos, Jax immediately starts running into problems.
Unbelievably disappointed right now.
Well, maybe there will be blood, death, and violence in the next adventure.
Ha 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 ha, how wholesome.
Hey, that's good of you, Pomni.
Let's take this dumb truck to the dumb kingdom, I guess.
In episode 3, we learned that with each new episode, Jax loses the ability to influence the other characters like he did in the pilot. They've learned how to deal with him.
Unfortunately, we still need to wait until your other teammates finish their adventure before I can grant you permission to leave.
Jax's main target has always been Gangle, as she's the only one who can't fight back. All of this, along with the details from the previous part of the video, leads us to believe that episode 4 could be a turning point, not just for Gangle, but even more so for Jax. Let's consider a few possibilities of what could happen to Jax after episode 4 ends. But first, we need to understand what kind of mood Jax will be in. Most likely, it will be a pretty rough day for Jax, one that will wear him down to the limit, all of his tormenting of others.
He actually asked me to give you this. Whoa! So what was it like being stuck with the nutcase?
It wasn't that bad, actually. I can't hold it any longer.
Sure you can. We can't die from oxygen deprivation, remember?
Ultimately, this will lead to many wanting to teach him a lesson, and Jax will find himself completely alone in this digital circus. But if you think this will somehow change Jax, you're sorely mistaken. Remember the final scene of episode 2, after which many thought Jax would become calmer, only to later see that it didn't happen at all.
Where's that well?
Come on, that wasn't even scary. What? You scared of the vacuum cleaner too?
Why, Jax!
What? I thought we were supposed to capture all the ghosts.
Which door should we choose?
Not sure. Let's try this out.
It will be the same situation here. Even if, at the end of the episode, Jax appears exhausted and sad, it will only be because someone dared to mess with him. This means that in future adventures, Jax will go on a hunt with double the force, and everything we've seen so far will be just the appetizer before the main course. What do you think about Jax and his role in episode 4? Will he really end up as the victim this time, or are they just trying to make us believe that? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below this video, and with that, our video is coming to an end. Time to say goodbye. See you later.